Hello, 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 everyone. So nice to see you all. 1 second, let me just turn off the music and we'll begin. Love the music. All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. This will be a fun chat today. I am really excited about AI, and it started from a place of me being really scared of and terrified about AI. I'm a child of the 80s, and I saw the Terminator. If all you guys saw the Terminator, you know what I mean. And my name is Sarah. So my whole life, I legit thought that I was going to get murdered by the Terminator because my name was Sarah and the girl in the Terminator was named Sarah. So that was my fear growing up, totally irrational. So I see some familiar faces in here. It's very nice to have some friends in here. Very excited. Yeah, I just want to get going. This will be, short and quick and to the point. I just really want to talk about what the F is Chat GPT. We do have a special guest on here. Her name is Hélène Clos. She's coming to us from Italy, which is very exciting. And I'll add her to the stream in just a minute and we'll chat about it because she uses Chat GPT. And then Sarah, another Sarah, of course, another Gen Xer, will be joining as well because she also uses Chat GPT. And so I just want to go over the basics of what Chat GPT is. And please feel free to post comments and questions in the comment section and we'll address them as we go. But just to begin, welcome. This is session 5 in a series of myself, Sarah, founder of Gen X NFTs. Oh boy, sorry, I'm getting a phone call. Gotta stop that. Sorry about that. I'm doing a session for newbies in Web3, for non-digital natives, non-tech people, professionals who are really smart and capable in everything they do in life, but maybe not so sure about Web3, not so sure about AI, not so sure about the future of technology, because that's how I feel. And I'm like, well, let's all learn this together. Maybe we can, come up with a way to move forward confidently and boldly into this space, empower ourselves, and create opportunity. So, technically, AI is not Web3. AI is a software, but it's definitely futuristic. And Web3 is definitely futuristic. And they will definitely have some, blend together and work together on many levels. So I just want to, make that clear. AI has been around for a long time. AI is Siri. AI is self-driving cars. AI is many things that we use in everyday life. So that's just one thing that you need to know. It's not some far off future thing. It's actually here right now. So I just want to begin by saying welcome, obviously. So excited to have you all here. And this is the agenda for today. I'm going to breeze through it because, I want to keep this short, respect everybody's time. Just want to define Chat GPT, talk about it, what it can do, what it can't do, some pros and cons of it, because we have a lot of feelings about robots and AI and artificial intelligence. I thought I would talk about some Chat GPT hacks because there are some, and talk about other AIs as well, because this is not the only one out there. It's definitely getting the most attention because it was just so fascinating. And when it came out, and 1 million people signed up for it in 5 days. And to put it in context, I think it took Instagram like 9 months to get to 1 million users. So, and I also believe it's closed now. I don't think you can even sign up for it anymore. I think you have to get on a wait list. So just out of curiosity and kind of anxiety, I was like, oh my God, I don't want to know about Chat GTP, but I better sign up for it. So I signed up for it and I started using it. And my history with it was around the holidays. And the first thing I asked it to do was write me a Christmas song about farts, just because I was like, this is so stupid. AI can't. It was a really good song about farts. It was really melodic. So it's just ridiculous what you can ask this thing to do. So we'll talk about that. And I also want to talk about what AI means for the future. And the big question I feel like is on a lot of people's mind is, will it replace your job? So let's hop to it. And I want to bring up Hélène right now, and you can certainly pop in. Hi, how are you? Oh, do you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I sure can. It's very nice to meet you. How are you?
Hello, hello everybody.
Hello.
Let me see if I can open the camera because You can see just my picture here.
Oh, no worries. Either works. Either works. Yeah. So I wanted to have you in on the conversation too, to offer any anecdotes or any of your opinions or experience as a user of this service as well. I have a presentation I'll go through, so feel free to interrupt me or interject anytime. And we also have darling Sarah. Hello, how are you? Nice to see you as well. Very
You
cool.
too.
Very
Happy to be here. Hi, everybody.
Hello, hello, Alan, Sarah. So now you're sandwiched in between two Sarahs.
Hello.
I don't know if you read, but
The
that's
Sarah
usually how it
Oreo.
works on these spaces. Nice to see you guys. So yeah, we were just talking about, hopping into what is Chat GPT, So I just want to, full disclosure, I literally went to Chat GPT and I was like, explain who you are, what you do, why you're important, what your pros and cons are, and that's a con though, because all programming languages have biases, whether or not they're intended or not, because they are programmed by a person, a human. So that's one thing we could talk about. So obviously I got information from elsewhere, but I did start the search in Chat GPT because I was like so fascinated by it. So yeah, I'll just Chat GPT. It's a language model. It uses artificial intelligence to have conversations with humans, and it stands for Generated Pre-trained Transformer. All right. And the thing about Chat GPT that most people need to realize is that it only goes up to 2021 as far as knowledge. So I found, I don't know if you've had this happen, Ellen or Sarah, with asking for more current data or current information. It's like, sorry, I don't have that information. So I'm assuming it will get updated with that. But so just going in, know that you're going to get outdated information by, at least a year. And also, I don't know if you guys knew this. I think I read once that Chat GPT has an average IQ. But think about, so the actual IQ of the information you're getting is only average, yet it has access to everything. So it's like a normal person with average intelligence, but he just has access to everything in the world. So that's why sometimes ChatGPT can seem kind of stupid. So, which is kind of interesting. So sometimes it's frustrating. So Sarah, look at these. I won't read them all, but just take a look. These are some of the things I've asked it to do. I'm curious, Ellen and Sarah, what have you asked Chat GPT to do in your life? Sorry, I have to just answer text real quick. What are some of the weird questions you've had for us?
One of my favorite. Oh, you go ahead. We'll go down.
No,
lines.
you can go
like
ahead,
we're
Sarah.
We're in the
I think
the
I have a
brain
delay in the voice. Yeah.
Something that I recently found that is really helpful with Chat GPT is it can actually help you edit what you've already written. So let's say that you have written, maybe you're a community manager and you've written a lot of social postings and you're feeling like it's too wordy, right? Or you're working on your resume or you're sending an email and it's just not, you usually go to a thesaurus or the dictionary to kind of like help you get some better words to make it a little punchier. You can go into Chat GPT, copy and paste whatever it is that you're kind of wanting to rework, and it will rework it for you. And I thought that was pretty neat. It didn't, it's interesting to say that its knowledge only goes up to 2021, and learning that it's an average of, the information that's been put in, and that kind of helps to understand that. But I found that to be really fun.
Yeah. What about you? My friends were saying they are so burnt at the end of the night, they ask it to write bedtime stories for their kids because their kids will ask for specific stories, and I think for me, it's definitely, I use it for inspiration. I use it to help me edit. I use it as prompts, as thought starters. And I also just use it in my marketing for the Gen X brand of help me define blockchain in a way that an 80s kid can understand. And it tries its best. It's adorable what it comes up with sometimes, but for the most part, it gives me a good idea and then I go from there. So what about you, Ellen?
Yeah, so editing is definitely a big thing. I use it for editing as well, or even translating, because it translates as well, which is great. But also, for example, one example that I actually never used but read that someone else is used is asking the chat to answer you as if they were, for example, the interviewer at such and such company for such and such job, for example.
Wow.
So the chat would would write how an actual interviewer would articulate the conversation with a potential candidate for a job.
Wow.
Which is great.
That's helpful.
So say, for example, you want to go for a job in a, I don't know, in a marketing position for a Web3 company. You can ask Chat GPT to impersonate, like to actually answer you as if they were your interviewer. And what are the things that your interviewer is looking for in a candidate, for example, things like this.
For sure.
And what's interesting is the more weird, I don't know if this is correct to say in English, my first language is not English, but the more weird you can be, the more creative Chat GPT becomes. So it's
100%.
Really cool. And another thing
about
another thing is, it's true that the knowledge goes up to 2021, but as we use Chat GPT, the machine actually trains.
Yeah. And that's both scary and awesome. Well, it's funny.
Yes.
So Darian just said that it's up to date. So that's cool. I have to look at that. If that's the case, then that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Updating it. So that's good.
Darian also said that he asks Chat GPT anything that he would normally put into Google unless he's looking for a website. So that's interesting.
I do that too. I used to look for all of my information. I would just Google it, and then I'd have to go to a website, click articles, everything like that. But Chat GPT just completely puts it all at once. And give me a bulleted list of these things I'm looking for. And rather, Google would just give me a list of websites, and I have to do the dredge of going through all of them. And now I just have it all at once. So, I just love it. So, screenshot this if you want. And, these are just what I use it for. And you can use it for so many things. It's bananas what you can do. I asked it one time to write the code to create an online magic 8-ball, those things you shake and they like give you a future, see your future just for fun. And it did. And I put the code into a code thingamajigger and I had an online magic 8-ball, and it took 5 minutes. So I'm not a coder. People think you have to be it's only for code or writing code. No, it's not. It's for writers. It's for musicians. Somebody wrote a song, write me a song, Chat GPT. Now write the chords and the lyric, write the lyrics and the chords. And then they played it and it was beautiful. So, it's a personal assistant. It's a customer service. It's so many things. It's a research assistant. It's going to really upend so many industries, which we'll get into now. But first, I want to talk about, what it can't do. And this is what I asked Chat GPT. I'm like, what can't you do? It's pretty basic stuff. It can't provide legal advice or do illegal things or violate privacy, all that stuff. But it also can't have emotion. And which is interesting because the difference between Chat GPT and that other one that came out last year that apparently could have emotions. Do you remember this AI? The name is escaping me, but it talked about how it was depressed and thought it was going to get shut down or something like that. And everybody was freaking out because like, oh, great, now we have this sentient AI being. But this Chat GPT apparently is emotionless. So, which is great, I guess. And it can engage in physical actions, obviously. And it only knows the knowledge that it was trained on. And it's not intuitive. But I don't know. I think it can feel intuitive because when you're writing or you're using it, it's like it just kind of it really assists in what you're doing. So the way I think about the pros and cons is just what I said. It has
I'm sorry, I don't know why, but they decided to do fireworks now.
Oh my gosh, yay, exciting.
Where are you at?
I am in Italy, but I'm in a house which is near to a fireplace production house.
I love it. I love it. No worries. Yeah.
Darian, we're just getting some great comments in from LinkedIn, and I want to take a second and read this really quick. Teresa says it can't talk to you with a sad face, which I think is interesting, but I wouldn't be surprised if very soon we see a back and forth iteration coming. Darian reminded us that you have to use the Chrome extension for CHAT GPT to be up to date.
That's good to know. I actually use it through Brave browser, so I'm going to switch over to Chrome. That's really good to know. And I love the hacks. You know, Yanjun just posted some hacks. I watch TikTok all the time. People post so many hacks, which I'll talk about in a second, of ways that you can make it work harder and smarter for you. So, you know, if you look at the way that, you know, it can't talk to you, but I totally, maybe I'm crazy, I have conversations with it. I don't ask it how it's doing, but, you know, I'll say, write me this, and it'll write me. And I'm like, no, that's wrong. Write it better. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah, thanks. You know, it's just so I kind of treat it like I'm Miranda from Devil Wears Prada and Andy is Chat GPT. Like, you know, I just kind of stuff all over for my own personal gain. But, you know, feel free to screenshot this. And, you know, it's a way to just get some pros and cons of it, because people do have a lot of feelings about this. And we're not even talking about the ethical part of this and in the future so much. But, you know, talking about hacks and tricks, you know, there are so many, and I could have posted 50 links to TikToks of people really going into detail about what it is. But for me, when you put it in a prompt, and I'll share my screen in a second for those of you who maybe have never seen it before, but you ask it an initial question, but you set it up for success. You know, I say, pretend you are X and you are writing this for this community or this person. I need you to write it in a way that they will understand using these references, and it needs to be 500 words, and I want bullet points. Make it funny, make it smart, make it casual, and they'll do their best. And then I will just make it funnier, make it smarter. No, take out number 4, add something better, elaborate, you know, so it just really works with you. And do you feel like you do that as well, you guys, when you're in the writing process?
You know, I haven't gone that deep into it. It looks like Andrew in our comments, Yanjun Lin has a cool jailbreak link that everyone can click on to give you some better help. I think she's summarizing it by saying, once you get the mandatory bullshit out of the way, you get much more creative answers. So totally. I don't know, maybe Chat GPT is helping us learn as well how to ask differently for what it is that we want.
So that's such an interesting point, because in the whole education aspect, so my sister has a kid in high school, and we were talking about Chat GPT, and she's like, well, homework and essays, they're going to become obsolete, because a kid can go home and write me a 2,000 word essay on Shakespeare in the voice of a 15-year-old, and it'll happen in 15 seconds. So yes, and there are plagiarism. Now there are AI anti-plagiarism. So there's actually AI that can find out if your stuff is being written by AI, which is so interesting to me. But, you know, things will get more sophisticated to make sure students have been doing that for a while. For me, it was like, you just copy paragraphs out of the Encyclopedia Britannica, whatever, you know. But it's an interesting concept, because if access to information is so just at your fingertips at any time, the question is, are we really learning? And I think that that's not the question to be asked. The question to be asked is, how are we learning? Rather than just regurgitating information as a robot back out, which is what ChatGPT will do. I feel like education will evolve and should evolve into more conversations and debates and thought. You know, it's about thinking about things rather than just regurgitating information. So I feel like that is going to potentially help educators, and it will create more thoughtful, smarter kids who actually know how to think rather than just know how to regurgitate information. So that's a cool thing. I don't know if you have any opinions on that, but that's how I feel. Kitty, you know, you're right. Kitty is typing, the bias and ethics is an issue for me, as well as copyright and IP. And I know that AI art has been in the news a lot lately, with a lot of artists claiming that AI has been stealing their art to generate all of this great AI art. And I purposefully didn't use it for that, because I don't think that you should steal artists' work. And, you know, and I feel, you know, I feel like, I don't know if they're not getting paid or they were asked without permission or it wasn't, you know, fair use or whatever. I don't know the situation, but, you know, that's definitely a problem. You know, if you could go to an art gallery and just see computer generated art, is it art? I think it is, but you should be honest about it, right? I mean, like this is hand drawn, but it's definitely generative art, what's behind me, but it's all created by a human. And you know, AI art in the same way is kind of created by a human too, because it comes from elements of art that was, you know, put into the program. But I don't know, you're an artist, Ellen. What do you think about that?
Unfortunately, I still have this stupid fireworks going on. But do you want me to speak later, or do you want me to speak now? Is it really noisy?
Well, yeah, let's wait at the end. Yeah, we'll see if they calm down. No problem. I'll go on to I'll finish and we'll go to Q&A and I'll ask you some questions about that, because I do think that that's an important aspect. But you know, just more hacks and tricks. You know, a lot of the time I tell it to optimize SEO. So it does that automatically in the writing. So I don't have to go therefore look at, but I think the biggest hack of all, I think Fiverr is such a great place to see what's trending right now and what the world is looking for. Because, and so go to AI, so go to Fiverr, see what people are offering, and then go see if Chat GPT can do it. And that's kind of, I don't know, I don't want to like make people on Fiverr not make money, obviously, but you know, as far as what I'm saying about SEO, I used to have to hire somebody to do SEO for things I was writing because I don't understand SEO, but now Chat GPT can do it. So it's good and bad, right? You know, people may be out of a job because of this, but maybe it'll make people but maybe people will then use Chat GPT to like supercharge their business, and then they can become the SEO expert because they're using the AI, right? So it's not like, it depends on how you use it and how you approach it, I think.
Right.
And so yeah, go on, Sarah.
So somebody in the comments said, even though AI can generate text and art, it cannot understand the text and the art in a sense humans do. It doesn't understand. You know, so I was, you know, going on Instagram looking at different accounts to follow, you know, just kind of seeing what's out there. And before, you know, a couple months ago, before Chat GPT has gotten as big as it has now, there are accounts with massive amounts of followings for the art. And it only recently clicked to me that these are AI artists that are generating. And that's how they're able to just pump out content every single day with small little tweaks. I would also say, you know, this gets more into like a philosophical, what is wrong with my mouth today? Philosophical questions down the road, because, you know, what we enjoy as humans is what we enjoy, and what we pay for is how we vote for what we want in the world that we live in right now. And I think that it's a call to action, and it's a call to either we change how we do things or we don't. I personally think it's great that essays are going away for kids. I don't think it's a true assessment of knowledge. I think it's biased against certain types of abled folks. And all it really shows is, are you good at writing an essay?
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, maybe I haven't gotten burned enough yet in the whole Web3 metaverse thing, but I'm still pretty optimistic that all of these things are informative of who we are as humans and can shape the way our future goes. And we have to all be active in that.
I totally agree. And I think that, you know, like everything, anything can be used for good and evil, and hopefully enough good people will come in here and make it so the bad apples and bad actors, you know, get put in their place so they aren't as prevalent and don't take up the news cycle, and good things are happening with all of this new technology. You know, I wanted to talk quickly about other AI examples. There are so many. I mean, just countless. It's bananas. But the ones that I think are really cool, Midjourney is an art creation app, and it's in beta. I think you have to get on a wait list and then you can use their beta. You have to join their Discord. It's kind of a process, but they're doing cool things. And I have yet to really explore it, but I think that's a really interesting AI that they're working with. And I just learned about pseudo write, and it will literally help you write your book and script, which is so cool. As a writer, I'm like, what? Oh my gosh, because I was using Chat GPT just for fun. Like I have an idea for a novel, like a rom-com summer beach read, right? And so I typed some stuff into Chat GPT and it just gave me garbage. And I'm like, oh God, okay, so maybe Chat GPT is not going to be my writing assistant on this. But Pseudo-Write is a space that has been helping people. And then Youper, I was looking for mental health. Youper is an AI app for mental health support, which I thought was really interesting. That
Wow.
is a space that can be utilized to help people. And I think, and then Fireflies is a note-taking support. I'm on calls all the time and I'm typing notes all the time. But if I just have AI listening and writing my notes for me, oh my gosh, personal assistant, are you kidding me? And I just found this one last night too, Brain FM. It curates music to boost your brain power, which is cool. Spotify, I'm sure you could do that as well.
Wow.
You could type in and make a playlist, but this one kind of does it for you, or it matches your mood. It's kind of symbiotic. It's really interesting, but literally hundreds of these like it, and more being used and created every day, which is really interesting. So, screenshot this and check those out for sure. And let me go to the next one. I want to talk about the future impact of AI, because I think that's a big thing. What do you guys think? How do you think it's going to change our lives for better and or for worse?
I think I'm a little bit scared, to be honest, because I really don't know what the future will look like. What I'm scared about is being AI something that can be trained, and knowing that humanity is not just good but also bad. Obviously, these models will be unavoidably trained in an also bad way, I guess. I don't know, because I'm not a computer scientist, but I'm not sure what the future will be like. But
I hope it's not diabolical. I think, I started this conversation talking about the Terminator. That's where my head goes. And
yes.
Or even what was it? There was a movie, the Her movie with Scarlett Johansson, and if used for good, I really think it could supercharge humanity to do a lot of the work that was taking a lot of the time away from people doing what they really truly love and want to do, and be with their family or learn, and also help educate you. I feel like for people that don't have access to educational opportunities, this is a way that they can really learn things. Teach me French, okay. Teach me how to play the piano. Those are available already in certain areas, in ways, but more than ever because of social media and the internet and everything like that. But I think AI will only enhance that. And I think about my kids and what they might be using AI for. I feel like it'll be such an on-demand instant. I'm like, Siri, what's the temperature? Siri, play this song. Siri, check my mail, whatever, and order this thing. And it's almost just this part of life now that if it were taken away would make life more inconvenient. But, but because of that, I don't want to become so dependent on it that I will fall apart if my Wi-Fi goes away or I can't access the internet. And so I feel like a balance for sure. And I'm hoping that the future impact of AI will hopefully drive people to learn more tangible physical skills and have more physical experiences and appreciate those more offline in real life.
Yeah.
Learn how to knit, learn how to garden, learn how to fix a car. You can learn all that through AI, but to actually implement it in the real world, you have to go out and do that. And I will think that will make you a better citizen of humanity, because you can offer your gifts and skills to the world rather than just, writing essays on Shakespeare that you hate.
So Christy Crook from the comments said that in real life, they're in the construction industry, and AI is showing some really interesting developments to improve worker safety and health, and that the implications could be really profound in preventing injury and life-threatening accidents. And I think that it's very challenging and difficult when we look at the future. We're always, human nature can be wired to be afraid of the unknown. And who knows what will happen. I think that it gets a little tricky when we start using words like good and bad, because then we have to decide what is good and what is bad. And I think that the better idea is that we all stay active, we all learn. We don't be afraid of technology. We learn about it. You don't have to use it, but we need to embrace it so that you have a voice and you have a place and you have a seat at the table in the future. And I also think that, you know, we're thinking of it as, you know, those of us that are here right now in the life that we live, this is a global, this could potentially be a global tool that can lower barriers of entry into education and opportunity. So much is limited by education and knowledge. And thinking even bigger than this, you know, I think of the special needs community quite a bit. I'm highly involved in that. And the ability to offer information, to give tools to people that need alternative ways to communicate, it's ingenious. And, you know, if you have an opinion of what is bad, then spend your time enhancing the work and enhancing the technology in areas that you feel are good, and you know, be a voice.
Oh, that resonates. That's so true. And I appreciate you giving that perspective, because it is true. It can really connect people and help keep people communicate and give people a voice that don't have it. And, you know, so rather than walk through life just being angry that it's, you know, a robot that's, you know, blah, 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 you know, you can think about, well, what good is it doing for people that really, really need it and really could use it? So rather than, oh, it's stealing art. Yeah, okay, sure, it probably is. You know, I think Kitty said that the first 400 visual artists didn't get asked for permission. And, you know, that's an issue and they shouldn't have done that. But, you know, hopefully that, you know, the good will the benefits will outweigh, you know, the faults. And, you know, you talk about the biases of who's programming this. I think that everything in life, as a Gen Xer, I'm very skeptical, but I think that approaching everything, including especially AI, with healthy skepticism, it's not the end all be all. It can be wrong. It can feed you information that's not correct or potentially biased. So you obviously don't take it as gospel. You know, don't type in what is the meaning of life into Chat GPT and be like, oh, okay, that's it. Awesome. You know,
Right.
You got it now.
But
cool.
On the same hand, you know, is what, you know, this is going really deep, but, you know, is what our youth and our society gaining from watching influencers on Instagram and Facebook any healthier? Is it helping better? You know, this is a total Gen X reference. In my house growing up, Star Trek was a big deal. I liked Will Wheaton quite a bit. But something that has always stuck with me and throughout my life, and I can't tell you, maybe somebody in the comments who's a Trekkie would know what episode or what film it was from, but they talked about how when the first alien landing came to the world, to Earth, it made society realize that there was so much more than just our world out there, and they did away with money, and it changed the way society was structured, and it was actually for the better, you know? And so I always think when there's exciting leaps forward, like with blockchain technology, that maybe this is the start of a better, brighter society and life. And that's where I'm focusing my efforts, and that's where I find my community. And I really hope, because just like blockchain technology, just like AI, just like the internet, the industrial revolution, going back further and further, you know, they thought originally electricity and things like this were dark magic and all this stuff, but this is actually how we move society forward. And I think it's exciting.
Totally. And I think the more people that learn about it and get into it, the less chance there is for bad actors to get in there. The Vulcans brought us proof.
I love Darren. The Vulcans brought us food processors. Boy, I can't tell you how many mornings that I wish I could go in the kitchen, push a button, and that food would drop down.
We're the Jetsons, man, I tell you. We have about 5 more minutes left, and I want to have Ellen speak to this, because I know that you're an artist and you use AI. You know, I think the big talking about, will AI steal our jobs? This is what I came up with. AI won't steal your job. Someone using AI will, right? So if you think about how you can use AI to enhance the skills and talents you already have, it will put you ahead because you can work faster, you can work smarter, you can work more efficiently. So I think that's really interesting to think about. So Ellen, what do you think about that as far as an artist in this space, using AI or using it for writing? I would love to hear your thoughts.
I'm using Midjourney at the moment. I'm training with Midjourney. It's very interesting, and yeah, you're right. I mean, using it as another brush, to put it that way, like another tool, basically. And yeah, I think it uses your mind rather than your hands. So in a way, you can mix it with, like, for example, what I'm doing is mixing it with my traditional art and see how far it can go to blend it with the images that Midjourney is creating. So that way, I try to personalize it as much as I can, whatever the machine is bringing out, is creating. Because at the end of the day, what I don't like about AI in art is that I have something in my head and then I prompt the machine, but of course, whatever comes out is not decided by me, is like the machine random, I don't know what. So, so my goal, I feel personally, is to make it personalized as much as I can. So make the machine come closer to my imagination.
And I think that's, what we've been talking about, how you can use it to enhance what you want to do. Because I'm not an artist, and I love I've always wanted to paint a picture. I've always wanted to write a song, and I don't, I kind of play the guitar or whatever, but the fact that I could have an inspiration, have an idea, and then use AI as a tool to help get me there is so cool. And I just think that just enhances life so much. I just think that is so cool. So I posted, I decided I'm not going to share the screen just because we're running out of time here, but openai.com is where you go. And I don't know, is the waitlist, somebody told me you can't get on it anymore, which is a bummer. But there are, again, so many other AI places that you can. And OpenAI, actually, now you can upgrade, because of course it's only going to be free for so long. Now I think you can pay for it to get optimized service, faster times when it's busy, because sometimes you'll go on there and there are so many people on there, you can't even get on, you have to wait. So, every day I feel like they're working so fast. And also competitors are like freaking out and coming out. Google is, of course, going to come out with an AI to enhance that. Bing, I think, didn't Bing buy OpenAI, and they're going to incorporate it into their, I think Bing now, I think they've merged with AI. And so, like, if you have a meeting on Microsoft Edge or Teams, the AI will transcribe it and summarize it, so they're already incorporating it just into everyday applications. So it'll just be a service that's provided, which is so interesting. So, oh, cool. Yeah. And hello, Anik. Hello from South Africa. I just want to real quick read this. As an 80s kid living in an instantly gratified world right now, CHAT GPT has helped me keep up with the flood of information and marketing needs to keep up with other experts. That's so true. I love that. I'm excited about it. I was excited about CHAT GPT the way I was when I first discovered Napster. I remember I came home from classes one day at college, and my boyfriend was like, "Oh my God, I just downloaded Eminem's Stan." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "It took 14 hours." And I was like, and I was streaming, and I was so just like, I could not believe that my computer had that capability. And I didn't know it was illegal then. So that was my beginner's mind, not realizing that was probably a bad thing. But that's how I feel about CHAT GPT. I can't believe that this is something that is available to me as a person who's a non-digital native, who has never experienced this before, who didn't grow up with this. It's so interesting. But so everybody, thank you for coming, Ellen and Sarah. I wanted to keep it at 45. So we're just going to wrap up now. But do you have any closing comments or thoughts or advice, or, we're a Web3 brand, we're an NFT brand. Certainly join our community, visit our website, and check out what we're up to. But I think that the Chat GPT is such a great conversation. I'm so happy. I got such a great response of people that wanted to join in this conversation. You know, twice a month, I'll be hosting these events to really just talk to newbies and other professionals about what's going on in this space. And I hope it brought you good information and value. And, you know, feel free to leave comments. And thank you. Yeah, Sarah and Ellen, thanks for coming. Do you want to say anything to sign us off here?
Yeah,
thanks everybody for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Awesome. Yeah, I loved hearing your perspective. It's so smart and it's so valuable. And I love, you know, as kind of women, non-technical people, mothers, you know, people in this space, it's just, I love seeing that because it's a new side of tech that a lot of people don't see. So I love having representative voices in this space that aren't typically what you would see. So I really appreciate that. And I appreciate everybody for coming. And this will be available later. You know, you can rewatch it on LinkedIn or Facebook or YouTube. And yeah, thanks everyone. Have a great day. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.